Hey there, and welcome back to Unstuck. I'm Robin Goldenberg here at Strategy Leaders. If you listened to last week's episode, you've got a rough 3 year vision. That's what we worked on. You defined what your business could look like if it really worked for you: revenue, team, role, systems, offers, all of it. Now we bring it down to earth because a 3 year vision without a 1 year map, that's a dream. And we don't do dreams without direction around here. So today we're going to walk through how to take that long term clarity and turn it into a strategic, actionable, team aligned plan for the next 12 months. Let's talk about why this matters. Here's where most businesses get stuck: they're either in what's next mode, or they're in we've got the vision, but no one knows what to actually do. This middle step, mapping 1 year with intention, is where most business owners lose the thread. They're trying to run 12 priorities at once. They're overcommitting their team without realizing it. They're not sequencing things in the right order. And then they wonder why momentum feels impossible. This episode is your antidote for all of that. Let's jump into where most 1 year plans go wrong. So let me just get this out of the way. Most 1 year plans that I see aren't plans at all. They're goal decks. They're wouldn't it be nice if documents. They are vague intentions with no timeline, no accountability, and no structure. And I see that a lot. So if that's how you're feeling with yours, or even if you don't have one, it's totally fine. It's totally normal. Let's just kind of jump into it. That's why we're here today. So here are the four big mistakes I see most business owners make. The first one is that they try to do too much. They look at that 3 year plan and they try to do all of it right now. I can tell you that in my plannings with my clients, when we put dates on our action steps, they do indeed try to make all the dates due this month. But business isn't linear. You need sequence. And trying to do everything at once, it kills momentum, it creates burnout, and it confuses your team. Number two is that they skip resourcing. They set goals without asking, do we actually have the time, team, or systems to make this happen? Then they're frustrated when nothing moves. This part matters. Your plan has to reflect the reality of your current capacity. You can stretch. Yes, I love a stretch, but you can't magically do more with nothing. Three, they don't assign clear ownership. If everything's a team effort, I assure you nothing gets done. A real plan has names, people who are accountable for driving outcomes, not just tasks. They own this. Four is that they don't build a rhythm to keep the plan alive. I've said this before. If the plan isn't visible, it's not real. It's not getting reviewed weekly, monthly, quarterly. It's dead. You don't need a fancy dashboard, but you do need a rhythm that keeps everyone focused and accountable. All right, let's walk through how to build a 1 year plan that actually works step by step. You can pause this episode and jot things down, or just listen and then revisit with your team later, or book a meeting with me. I'm happy to chat with you about how to get this done. So, step one is to reconnect to your 3 year vision. Ask yourself, if we're standing here 12 months from now and we've had an incredible year, what needs to be true? What's different about how you operate? What's different about your team, your time, your revenue, your systems? This isn't about listing every possible improvement. This is about choosing the most important ones, the ones that make future growth easier. Step two is to identify the focus areas. I like to use the Six Sisters framework here at Strategy Leaders, the six functions every business has: sales, marketing, operations, finance, HR or people, and leadership. For each of these, we ask, what's the single biggest gap between where we are and where we need to be? You might find that marketing is inconsistent, operations are in your head, finance is undermanaged, HR is probably non existent, and you're still in too many seats. You won't solve all six, that's fine, but pick 3 to 5 strategic focus areas that will move the business forward this year. What I also say is if you're bringing a team in, to help you with this, your team, a coach, whatever it is, ask your team what they think the 3 to 5 strategic focus areas should be and see what the answers might surprise you. Step three is to define strategic priorities for each. So now we get specific. If one of your focus areas is operations, what's the priority? Get ops out of my head is not clear enough. What I would probably push you to try is document all core delivery processes, or hire a project manager, or implement a weekly team rhythm. Make it measurable, make it time bound, and make sure it's tied to outcomes, not just activity. Step four is to sequence it. So once you have your 3 to 5 focus areas, ask, what order do these need to happen in? What's a dependency? What's a foundational piece that needs to be in place before something else can happen? So, for example, you can't delegate delivery until you have clear processes. You can't launch new services until your team can handle the current ones. And you can't scale revenue until your back end isn't leaking margin. Don't try to run everything in Q1. I promise it will not work. It will burn everybody out, including yourself. And you will be upset with everybody for not getting their work done. Step five is assign ownership and resources. So now, for each priority, write down who owns this, what support do they need, and what tools, budget, or bandwidth are required. Ownership means one person who drives the outcome. They don't have to do it all themselves, but they're the one responsible for moving it forward. This step is where plans start to live, not just look good on paper. Step six is to build your visibility rhythm. Now ask, how will we stay connected to this plan every month, every week? Here's what I recommend: a monthly leadership check in to review progress, a quarterly priority reset to realign, and a weekly touch point with key owners to clear roadblocks. This doesn't need to be heavy, it doesn't need to take up a ton of time, but it needs to be consistent, or the plan will die on slide 3 like most plans do. Let's do a quick client snapshot. Client snapshot. Wow, that's harder to say than I thought it would be. Let's talk about Liz. So, my client Liz had a beautiful 3-year vision: step out of delivery, build margin, launch a leadership team, and eventually spin off a second business. But when we looked at her year ahead, she was still the only one with client access, and her ops were in her head. And she had no real margin to fund the next phase. So, we sat down together and we focused her 1-year plan on just 4 priorities: hire and train a delivery lead, document 80% of client processes, improve project margin by 12%, implement weekly reporting to the leadership team. And that's it. Not because that's all she wanted, but because that's what the business needed this year. And by sticking to that map, she bought herself capacity and confidence to grow from here. So here's the bottom line: your 3-year plan sets the direction, and your 1-year map is how you start walking it, with focus, with sequence, and with support. So if you've been bouncing between too many ideas and too much noise, this is your reset. What matters this year? What's possible with the team you have now? What foundation do you want in place 12 months from today? That's your map. Next week, I'm going to answer your questions that people have submitted to me through the process of this podcast, through LinkedIn, things like that. So if you've got something you've been wondering about, now is the time to send it in. Subscribe to Unstuck wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want help building your 1-year map, apply for Strategy Sprint. My link's in the show notes. I'd love to chat with you.